What's interesting is when I hear about the things that's going on in the Trayvon Martin case, George Zimmerman case, as you want to call it, more so. Um, we're getting close to the time where they're going to get ready to submit a verdict. They're resting their cases. We're getting, pretty much down to the wire. Now, when you look at a lot of things in this particular situation, it's very troubling. First off, I talked previously about case law. I'm going to get just a little bit deeper into why I say that is a concern. For one, I know that when they did certain things in the trial, it was quite questionable. Like, for example, when I look at the situation with the prosecution, I heard something that was very, very interesting. As far as when people talk about how the prosecution haven't really put forth their best effort, makes me wonder if they even wanted to put forth their best effort in the first place, because they know that they'll receive a lot of backlash. And let me tell you why I say that. Because I hear a lot of people talking about the OJ trial. And they use that now. And that OJ trial is almost about 20 years old. It started like in 1994, 95, so very close to 20 years old. But anyway, let's just go back there for a second. Think about what happened when OJ was found not guilty to those on his defense team. Because there were a lot of whites who were quote unquote upset about what happened, because they felt like, okay, not Zimmerman, OJ should have been deemed guilty. Now, what's interesting is you have Russell Simmons talking about, we should be willing to accept whatever the trial outcome is. There's nothing else that we can do except for roll with it. Well, I don't remember that being said back when the OJ trial went on. And of course, what had happened after the OJ trial went on, a lot of those people within his defense team kind of went against each other and even kind of act like they wish they would have never let OJ off. And I think that's because the dominant society pretty much gave them a hard time, because of the fact that they did help support and get a man off trial. That was their mind state. So I guess they figured, okay, since this is what you decided to do, we are going to go ahead and just shun you. And I guess they began to lose their white privilege. Must have got their nigger moment, as Harvey Superboy always says so eloquently. They must have gotten their nigger moment after that trial, and they said, oh, wait a minute, let me go ahead and start talking bad, and hopefully people kind of win me back over. Research that a little bit. Think about a lot of those attorneys that kind of flip-flopped after O.J. Simpson was acquitted. This is not something that I'm making up here at all. This is something that really happened. So, another thing that was interesting about that. What I'm hearing a lot is folks coming out saying, "Oh, please don't riot, this and that. We don't want you to riot. We don't want you to have a fit or anything like that." I'm like, okay, they're saying this in case Zimmerman walks. Now, what's interesting is, why are they telling it to black folks like they just know that blacks are going to riot? And if they're going to say that, let's even this score here. Let's make sure that we address the whites, or the militia groups, not all whites, but the militias and those who have the racist mentality. Why aren't we addressing those militia groups and saying, look, don't go out here thinking it's okay to shoot black folks? What about when Obama was elected? Remember, during the trial, there were militia groups that were prepared to, do some damage to black folks during that time, because they felt like, okay, if Obama got reelected, that there would be some things that he would do to kind of put them at a disadvantage. Of course, we realize that this isn't true at all. So that's another thing. That's why I really take issue with people saying that about, telling black folks, "Ooh, don't riot, don't do this, don't do that, just leave it in God's hands." And okay, if you're gonna leave it in God's hands, I think God said He helps those who helps Himself. So you cannot sit there and just wait on the deity, because then guess what? That gives you no responsibility. And what you'll do, you'll feel like, oh, I don't have to do anything. I can just sit here and let God handle it, knowing damn well that you know that that just gives you an excuse to do nothing, and that's not good. Um, so that's really, the issues that I have with that. Now let's bring it back now to the time that we are in with the whole George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin situation. Um, it just doesn't make sense that a man with a gun who called the police, who they told not to follow this young man, still followed him, and then claims that this young man got the best of him and he was doing this out of self-defense. So that's why he killed him. No, those screams for help, that could not have been George Zimmerman. Nothing will allow me to believe that. But when I look at what's happened now, it does look like a lot of the things, as far as this looks like a minstrel show. And the reason why I say it looks like a minstrel show is because all of these things that the dominant society claim that they like, with the heavy set, sassy black woman, they're basically showing, hey, these are things that we told you that we liked. We told you this was acceptable. We thought it was cool to say, hey, the black guys are thugs, this and that, but you realize Trayvon was not. But now they're showing you, you know what? We had you thinking that we thought that was cool, but the truth of the matter is we look down upon all of that. Because the same people that was giving praise to this in movies, I don't even have to say who the movies are when you think about this one that sat on the stage. In no way am I talking about this sister. I'm just stating the real. You know what I'm talking about. And other shows and things of that nature. But you look at how the same group that said, oh, we support this, we think this is cool, we think this is beautiful, now they're talking bad about it. Now they're saying, ooh, it's so disgusting. And I guarantee you this, those women that sit on that panel, those women that sit on that jury, they thought, oh, these are mothers, they're going to feel sympathetic. Not for Trayvon, they're going to feel sympathetic for Zimmerman. Those women don't relate to him, and they damn sure don't relate to Rachel Gentile. They look at her as something that they are not a part of, okay? And trust this. Just watch and see what happens. Now, while these Kiwi shoe polish breath having bootlickers out here are telling black folks not to riot, they're not sitting out here putting a message out to those who are going to feel like it's okay to shoot blacks, to kill them because they felt quote unquote threatened by them, threatened just by their mere presence, so that's just ridiculous to me. I look at all of this as a result of the crash test. It was said so eloquently, by some other people that I've heard and had discussions with. Think about what happened. Think about when Don Imus used the N-word. Think about when Gwyneth Paltrow said some goofy stuff, how blacks came to their defense. Think about Rush Limbaugh and others. It all of a sudden went from their wrongdoing to turning around and blaming blacks for it, particularly black males. So the society, the group, the establishment said, oh wow, we can do that. We can do this and just blame them and get away with it and nothing happens. Well, let's push this. So it's like you poking the bear because the bear isn't even going to maul you or think about mauling you, because the bear is going to attack itself internally. That is the essence of entropy. Look that up. Internal damage. And this is what has happened as a result. And so when they see this going on, now they're saying, okay, now what we can do, we can just go ahead and do this, because they haven't done anything about anything else. When we talked about, the Gwyneth Paltrows, the Don Imuses, and the Paula Deans and everything else, oh, they're defending us. They trying out defending us. Oh, even with Zimmerman, they're defending us. So let's push this around, because guess what? It's their words that said it's okay. Because in essence, what you're saying is, we killed them. We kill black folks. So it's okay for you to do it. Shit, we do it all the time. Really? And one thing that I want to do, and I want all of us, please, let's stop using the term black on black crime. Okay? That is a misnomer. Sure, are there problems? Yes. But let's say this. Every community, it's balanced out. Over in China, who are they mostly getting killed by? Other Chinese. Italy, who are they mostly getting killed by? Other Italians. And all these other little areas in the United States that you may not read about, who's getting killed in Middle America and other places? They're getting killed by other whites. So let's stop with that nonsense, okay? Also, stop saying that blacks in Chicago don't care. Stop saying that, because these crimes that go on, first off, you can't even assume that they're all black. You know that they're not all black. You got to understand what's labeled as murder. You got to consider those things, and you got to realize there are organizations out there that are trying to do things. I know for a fact that the FOI is doing things. I've been to Chicago numerous times, and I know quite a few people that live in Chicago, as well as other cities. Don't get me wrong, there is an outrage, so don't you dare sit here and say, oh, there's no outrage in the black community about these particular crimes. Yes, there is. It is very much an outrage. But the thing is, just because you don't hear about it, you're not paying attention to it, doesn't mean it's not going on. You got to understand that the media is very powerful, and they want to make sure they present a certain image. That way people can think a certain thought. Remember, once upon a time, a person walking around with a hockey mask, we wasn't afraid of them. But after Friday the 13th came out, oh man, now you think about Jason Voorhees. So think about that imagery and how brilliant and how much it touches your brain and your soul, and when you learn things through images, it makes you associate one thing with another. So they know this, and they're playing it to a T. So please, folks, think about this, and also consider strongly, it's not even optional, but you have to consider group economics, okay? That is very important. You have to think about that, because if integration is only being able to spend your money with someone else or sit on their toilets, then what is that about? You're basically saying that's your whole goal in life? No, because look at what it's done for us. Just some things I want to talk about. So please, stop using the term black on black crime, this Trayvon Martin situation. Next time you talk about rioting and things like that to black folks, make sure you tell those militia groups and those other hate groups and others, hey, don't get into the mode where you feel like you can kill others, because this isn't going to be too acceptable. But no one wants to say that. I don't know. And if you're talking about you love God and you won't speak on that, can't be a punk ass and love God at the same time.